You're in the new Providence, where niggas get to snapping like they got no common sense. When we approach with confidence, revoking confidence. His offense limp enough to throw the hardest to the fence. But raw is what he is, you can't stop it like jail runs. And ain't no topping him, he's opposite of well done. Rare without care, put clocks on the line. Comfortable with my flow, it's like I got Crocs on my rhymes. No, rocket science, fuck the
Yo, Silly C flexing on him. VO with the finesse. Jay Reeves over there looking salty. Must have a couple things. He is a day late and a dollar short on, man. But we'll get right into that. I'm VO the face. It's 50% fuss, 50% fantasy football, but 100% facts. I know how we do it. Silly C, that wasn't late at all, but I'm glad that you made it. Let's go ahead and start it with your late ass Silly C with the numbers. What's up?
It's your boy.
It's your boy.
And we also got Jay Reeves, the gambler.
F4, baby. Let's kick this show off, man.
Man, what a crazy week 8, man. We always like to keep it pushing, but before we move forward, we must look back at the bets and fantasy players we missed out on this past week in a segment we call A Day Late and a Dollar Short. All right, man. Let's get this one started off, man. Silly C, what fantasy players were you just a day late and a dollar short on?
Man, I have to start it off with Mike White.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. We were talking about him. Like, I didn't think that they even had a chance. But he came out, 37-45 for 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just beast mode, 31 fantasy points in DraftKings. I was day late, dollar short on him.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think the one that I ended up being a day late and dollar short on, I think it was the Rams against the Texans. And they were up like 38-0 or something, and they put up like 22 straight points to just bust that 16.5 point line. It's almost like the fix was in, man. It's almost like Vegas called him and said, "Hey, man, turn on the heat a little bit." And that game went from something that looked like a lot of us was going to win to something that a lot of people lost on. Jay Reeves, what bets did you lose out on this past weekend?
This past weekend was a real rough one for you, boy. It was definitely spooky season. My pockets are extremely windy. I lost it all, baby. I lost it all. But let me tell you what I was a day late and a dollar short on, man. It's just all this intertwines in together. What we're talking about here. I had the Buffalo Bills, the LA Rams, and a nice teaser. So I took the points down. They all covered. But who I had in that teaser? It's looking like Nightmare on Elm Street. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Man.
Going back to the boy, Mike White. Also, Josh Johnson got in for no reason because Mike White got a little hurt, and they still could not cover. Not only could they not cover, they just flat out lost. I'm telling you, the Jets sent a lot of people packing on Eliminator, and they sent my money. They flew my money right up out of my pockets. I can't stand the Jets right now.
Yeah, man. Jets. Yeah, man. The Bengals look terrible, man. I don't know if it was the fact that they're just trash, man, and they're not who we thought they were, or what really went on with them. But that was definitely a down week. Maybe they'll be able to bounce back when they get back to Cincinnati this week. The Jets play on a short week, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. But yeah, this is the part of our section, man, where we kind of go into our theme of our shows. Done a bunch of different themes over the past few weeks. So this will kind of be my favorite one, the sports debate shows, kind of in the undisputed first take mode. And this is just our flip on it. This one's called Fuss Take. right, y'all. I had to go grab the blazer on him real quick, getting our little debate mode. I'll be VOA face. You know what I'm saying? I guess I got to scream a little bit. I ain't even had no energy shot, man. How do I get loud, man? But I guess we about to debate some sports. But this one's going to be a little bit unfair to me because I'm going to let both of them debate me with topics of their choosing that I have not heard from yet. So we'll go ahead and start this one off. Jay Reeves, debate something. First take.
I got a real hot take for you, man. It's just a classic I told you so Jay Reeves moment. A couple weeks ago on this show, you asked me if I wanted to retract my statement about Derrick Henry. I was like, you know what? Man? Maybe I was just a year too early. Actually, Jay Reeves was spot on. Like I told you, man, one of those whales popped, and Derrick Henry is done for the season. Is there really anything to debate here, or was I just right?
I don't know, man. I did try to blow up your hot take a couple weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? Because when that conversation first came up, it was in comparison to Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's missed more time to this point, but Derrick Henry might be out for the rest of the year, and he took a big blow. But I was going to say, arguably, Derrick Henry has been the most valuable player to his team this year. So, I mean, it was a huge hit with them losing him, but yeah, man, I guess I can't really prove you wrong in that. Really don't have a leg to stand on when it says you kind of called it. But, I mean, that's kind of like just being like back when Obama was president, like, yo, Joe Biden's going to be president one day. And now, like, 10 years later, you know what I'm saying, Joe Biden's president. Like, yeah, it eventually
It was
happened,
literally 10 days later.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? But, I mean, in all fairness, did you retract your statement 10 days ago?
No, I didn't retract my statement. If you can go back and check the tape. You can check the tape. I was like, maybe I was a year too early. I was like, maybe I was a year too early. Check the tape, brother.
Yeah, even if you said maybe you was a year too early, that's kind of retraction. That's a little bit of backpedaling. See, you was backpedaling.
Nah, man, I was right. I was right. You were wrong. I won the debate. Move along to Cody.
Silly C, give us your first take.
All right, this is two parts. So with the New Orleans Saints currently 5-2 and second in their division, with the loss of Jameis Winston, how do you feel that they're going to do?
Well, losing Jameis Winston is tough. However, they got a deep quarterback room and some free agent options. They have Trevor Siemian, who's their third string quarterback. Taysom Hill will be coming back, so that'll give them two viable starting options, as well as Cam Newton, who's out there. So I don't know if you're asking me an opinion, like if I have something to debate here, but I think they'll be all right. I do think this kind of bumps them out from the playoffs, even the wild card seed. The NFC is just too deep and too strong. So
then they won't be all right.
I don't.
No, yeah, so they won't be all right. Okay.
Yeah, no, they won't.
So the second part of that is, in addition to that, with Michael Thomas, we're not sure when he'll come back, and we know how terrible your fantasy football team is. Are you a little concerned, and do you think your fantasy football team will get any better when Michael Thomas returns with Jameis Winston out?
No.
Yes. Even without Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill balled out last year with Michael Thomas. They have a proven connection. You could go back and look at the 8 games or 6 games that Taysom Hill played with Michael Thomas, and they were very productive for Michael Thomas. Taysom likes those big targets and definitely feeds him the rock a lot. So I think if Taysom plays, he'll be able to succeed, but also Trevor Siemian's history with big wide receivers as well. I think he'll be able to do well. So if Michael Thomas comes back, I do still see him as a viable fantasy option, you know what I'm saying? And probably good enough to be wide receiver 1 on Cody's trash.
Okay. Let's fuss and discuss this right quick, because this is a disgusting situation for Michael Thomas to be coming back to. Taysom Hill, he's a great athlete. He's not that great of a quarterback. And I don't know if you remember, they didn't have very much connection when Taysom Hill was in. Trevor Siemian, everybody has the tape on him. And he's going to turn right back into a pumpkin. He just actually came in the game. They wasn't expecting it. He was able to do big things. Trevor Siemian is not the guy. Taysom Hill is not the guy. Cam Newton, you don't even want him on your squad. He don't know the system, and he won't know the system by the end of the season. So they're not going to the playoffs. Michael Thomas will be a turd, and he may not even come back at this point.
I don't know about Turd. I think he's going to be more effective than a little Turd. But I mean, speaking on behalf of Turds, I'm sure you'll be able to give us a better perspective. But Jay Reeves, what's your next first take?
I like how you slid that one up out of you.
Oh yeah, you know the shots come subtle.
So,
But anyways, I just want to talk about a little bit the boy Calvin Ridley and Henry Ruggs. These are both two different situations. Henry Ruggs putting his family in jeopardy, but Calvin Ridley. Now we always discuss as men, we'll do whatever it takes to provide for our family. Is Calvin Ridley putting his family in jeopardy by saying that he has mental health issues, which I'm not saying that he doesn't. And I also feel like take all the time you need, brother, if that's the case. But do you feel like he should still be out there regardless just to provide for his family?
I don't know. And then like with things like this, man, I do think people should try to provide, but if you need a mental health break, that's just kind of just today's society. Like no, like probably 10 years ago that wouldn't fly, but nowadays with what happened with Simone Biles in the Olympics and just people taking more and more mental health breaks, you could see it being something that they wouldn't be able to fine him for. Kind of like how Ben Simmons stopped getting fines once he pulled the mental health card. The thing that I want to kind of pose to you guys going forward, will mental toughness even be able to be like a comparable skill like in the future? Like if you can't call somebody mentally weak anymore because you might be tearing them down on their mental health, can you even start like is there still a need to say, yeah, he's mentally tough, you know? And what kind of is the difference with today's athlete? Jay Reeves, what do you think about that?
I don't know, man. It just becomes a real tricky situation because dealing with the mental health issues is a real issue, and it could just lead to the worst thing of all, and that's death. So you don't never really want to play around with that. So if somebody says they need a mental break, I don't know. You just got to take it for what it is because you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah, you never do know, man. Silly, you care to comment on that issue, or you want to go back in with your second first take?
yeah, I kind of feel the same way. When it comes to mental health, like, yeah, you really, there's a lot of players, even Junior Seau, some of the beginning of them, that
Bad
if they would have
situation.
if that it just came out and said that, or somebody would have listened, maybe it wouldn't have happened. So
Yeah.
you definitely got to be serious about it.
Yeah, you got to take that into accountability for sure. All right, Silly, what's your second first take?
So my second first take is back at the beginning of the season. We talked about who was going to be better, and I explained to y'all how Antonio Brown, or sorry,
Yeah, you
how
don't even know what you're talking about. I won already.
Brown from Tennessee was
Yeah.
going to be better than Julio Jones. So
That was a no-brainer. Who did you tell?
now that kind of has come to fruition, how you guys feel?
Who did you
How do
tell that
you
to?
feel?
That was
I
a
don't know.
no-brainer.
I don't
Did
know
we
who
agree
you
with
told
you?
that to.
This is another two-part
I
as
got
well.
AJ Brown on both of my team, and if your second part is gonna be like, "What do you think about owning him?" It's pretty nice, man. AJ Brown starting to pop. I asked Jay Reeves probably 3 weeks ago, should I bail on him because he just kept goosing me and being out and getting like 0
Mhm.
points, getting the donut.
And what
Jay
did I
Reeves
say?
said just hold strong, and the 3 weeks since he's been just steady climbing and getting back to that elite status with his huge game this past week. I do think AJ Brown's a beast. So if that's the point you're trying to make, that he's going to have a better season than Julio Johnson or Julio Jones, you got me sold. You got me sold. I agree with you. Yeah,
And then
uh,
And then the second part to that is back to Mike White. So with his performance that he just put in, what would you say about Zach Wilson? Does he come back
Oh,
after his injury, or does Mike White continue to play? Because he was slinging the ball around and looked really good out there.
he was looking really good. And when you watch the game, and I've seen quite a bit of that game because I spent a lot of time in the red zone, and I was watching on red zone. Yeah, that was a really good game. I mean, a good game for Michael White. He looked polished and he looked like he was making some really good decisions. He was even like audible and out of stuff in the red zone, which was really impressive. Obviously, yeah, he's a non-factor though. Zach Wilson's the second overall pick, and that's not even a question. If anything, you do now feel more comfortable holding out Zach Wilson on this short week, and then next week after the elongated break, Zach Wilson comes back and it's his team for the foreseeable future. So that's how I feel about that. Now I'm gonna flip it on you guys. Like I want to give out the little fuss flowers, you know what I'm saying? So I chose my mid-season awards. You know, obviously these are still stories to be written, but mid-season we're gonna start with Coach of the Year. I got Cliff Kingsbury as the mid-season Coach of the Year. Jay Reeves, agree or disagree?
I gotta disagree. I'm gonna go with Sean McVay.
All right, Silly C, agree or disagree? Cliff Kingsbury as the Coach of the Year.
Right now I agree.
Yeah, you know, second up was going to be the Bengals coach, but that loss to the Jets last weekend was hard to unsee. But we'll go ahead and go into the offensive rookie of the year, and this one is for the Bengals. Jamar Chase, 38 receptions, 786 yards, and 7 tuds. Jay Reeves, agree or disagree? Halfway season,
come on,
offensive rookie of the year.
Come on, man, keep it moving, man. Keep it moving.
Cody, you got any reason to disagree?
That's that
No.
Maybe third leading receiver in the NFL.
If any of the other chases catches up.
So I got the defensive rookie of the year. I got Micah Parsons down there in Dallas, 42 total tackles, 30 solo, 12 assisted tackles, and 2.5 sacks. Jay Reeves, do you think he's doing well as the defensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, I would have to totally agree with you on that, simply because there's not a rabbit I could pull out this hat right now for rookie defensive player of the year. So I'm gonna have to agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, some of the other notables would be like Surtain or JOK out there in Cleveland. There's some other people making some noise.
Micah Parsons been making the most noise.
He's been making huge noise and playing out of his mind, man. These next two, this next dude, I just kind of wanted to give him his mid-season flowers, man. And I just call this one the offensive player of the year this way so far. And that's Cooper Kupp, 63 reception, 924 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Boy is going crazy, man. I feel like he's the offensive player of the year so far. And that's kind of subtracting my MVP that I have coming up. What do you think, Silly C?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. And I just want to know where Wood went. And but regardless of that, yeah, you know, Cooper Kupp is a beast. He's a monster.
What's it slightly been doing his thing? I hate to cut you off, but what's it slightly? He's
been quietly getting
I was looking
his,
for
so
him. I was like, oh, there you go. They kind of found him. He came around a little bit.
Yeah, those numbers look modest next to him. And then this next one, I got my defensive player of the year is Myles Garrett, 10.5 sacks, leading the league. So you see, you agree or disagree?
Oh, definitely agree. He's beast mode right at the moment.
Jay Reeves, you agree or disagree?
Man, I have to agree. The only reason why is because TJ Watt missed a whole bunch of games. If TJ Watt had been on the field for this complete half of the season, it'd be a different story.
All right, man. And then last one, mid-season MVP. I got this as a split award between Mr. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady and Derrick Henry, man, who has 10 rushing touchdowns and 1 passing touchdown, 937 yards. Even though he's gone, you know, he still got love from Bone. You know what I'm saying? He still did his thing. You guys disagree with my co-MVPs, or do you guys have a suggestion for one?
I guess if we're doing it through half of the season, we can, because somebody's sitting with half of a foot right now. But outside of that, you know, like, yeah, Tom Brady's beast right now.
Yeah.
I'll throw a wild card in there, and you're not going to like to hear it, but I'd have to give it up a little bit to Derek Carr, man. He's been balling, man. Check the numbers.
You know, old funny face Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, he been balling.
Yeah, so y'all
Matt
just came in with
Stafford.
some trash, man. Y'all just came in with some trash. I'd say like Kyler Murray or something, but
Mm.
yeah, I
He
mean, I
ain't
guess
been
we could
balling
just
at all.
agree to disagree on Fuss Take, man. And this is Fuss Sports F4, 50% Fuss, 50% fantasy football, and 100% fact.